Disc Golf Podcast. I'm Shane.
And I'm JP.
And we want to say, first of all, we had some audio drops and missing, and from last episode, I think we got it handled.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So sorry about that. This episode will not have that. And if it does, we'll delete it and you'll never hear it. So there you go. JP, tell me what you think about full contact sports.
In what capacity?
Just tell me what you think about them.
Oh, I mean, I enjoy watching football or rugby or auto racing when there's wrecks.
I guess that could be full contact.
Yeah. I never played any real contact sports in high school. I guess, I mean, soccer, there was collisions, but nothing major. I mean, I've gotten a few concussions here and there from that.
Okay.
But as far as kids, if we're going that direction as well, I think there's a playing at such a young age, because I think, kids' bodies are still developing and we're...
Sure.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's
all right.
Just a take on it, but yeah.
Right. All right. So what do you think about full contact sports in the realm of disc golf?
Like...
I might be going that direction. So, what do you think? Can you see the word full contact and disc golf being in the same realm?
It could. I could.
So
get into.
Do you remember what was the slam ball? I think we've talked about this.
Yes.
Did we?
I remember watching slam ball.
Okay.
Yeah, the basketball with the trampolines. Yeah.
But not only trampolines, you could.
Oh yeah, you could tackle.
Yeah, tackle them in the middle of their jump or whatever you wanted to do.
Yeah.
So if you timed it right, where they would just absolutely murder people under the rim.
And I remember, what was it? Instead of shooting free throws, you'd get like a dunk attempt, but somebody could come from off the side and like they'd time their jump and like try to block your jump or block your dunk.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
I remember that totally.
So here's my proposal.
Okay.
Only in circle 2.
Ooh.
30 to 66. So 33 to 66 feet.
Yeah.
That you get one full contact per 9 holes. So you get two full contacts. One person, two full contacts, only to your card, through the card. So you can't do it to all 3 of the other players. You only get 2.
Yeah.
Only in that circle. But you get to have full contact, full run. Let's go.
Okay, so what are the stipulations of having this full... Like, do you get to throw... Is it like you throw like a flag or like a card down and you're like...
Oh, no. That's what's going to add to... Because everybody... So here's this is why.
So it's kind of like you don't know what's coming and you're going to get blindsided.
Exactly. Because everybody's like, you need to make the circle bigger.
Yeah.
Circle putts are too hard. Blah, blah, blah. Well, this is a solution. Like, everyone's talking about step putts. They're horrible. Anything like that. Like, just add that. And I guarantee you, it's going to make those circle 2 putts so much harder.
Yeah.
Because you never know when.
Right.
And nobody ever stands in front of you, so you're not going to see them coming. So it's going to be like back in the day, bull in the ring. I don't know if you didn't play football, you said.
Not really, no.
So football, like, there was something called bull in the ring. Guy in the middle would stand in the middle, and your coach would call out numbers, and the rest of the entire team would stand around you.
Yeah.
And they'd call out a jersey number, and that person would come out of the... they would be maybe 10 yards off.
Yeah.
It was probably a 20-yard circle all the way around you. He'd be about 10 yards off you, and they would call. So it was just far enough to give you a chance to see him, but also just far enough for those people to get a full head of steam to hit you. And if you didn't see him, you were hurting. So it's illegal to do now. That's an illegal activity in college and in high school because people got hurt. So that's my proposal. I think you have to make a noise before you hit them.
Yeah, like
but that's my proposal.
Little audible grunt or something.
Yeah, just like incoming.
Yeah.
Like you have to call it. It's like that courtesy 4.
Yeah.
But it'll be mandated. And if you hit them without it, 2-stroke penalty. And you only get 2.
Okay, so other question. How do you know which player is using their rush or whatever you want to call it?
Let's say that you wear on your offhand, you wear 2 bracelets.
Okay.
And when you hit them, after you're done,
you have to take one off.
Yep, you can TKO them, give them a little, John Cena, rip the bracelet off and throw it at them.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sure.
You for it?
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
So
I could see a lot of people not making it to the end of the round.
yeah, I mean, if you were on a card with Ezra,
Oh my God.
and Brody, and who else? I mean, even KJ USA,
Yeah.
or Albert Tom, or
Yeah. Silverlot. Yeah.
Silverlight, those dudes are huge guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Silverlight, he's impressive, but he's runner impressive.
Yeah.
He's wide receiver impressive.
Yeah.
But Albert, he's linebacker impressive. I mean, he's just a stout dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be, that would make the game more interesting.
I would think twice about anything.
Yeah. Well, and think about us old guys, the 40 plus divisions. Can you imagine how long the rounds would take? Yeah, that would be hard with the old guys because how long? I mean, just me purposefully getting on the ground and getting back up takes a long time. And if I got hit, oh yeah. So there you go, full contact disc golf.
All right.
We
should try that tomorrow at League.
Let's do it. We're doing it for you guys that play League. Here we go.
Just kidding.
All right. Well, what'd you buy? Thrower, hanger, or flipper?
Oh. Well, yeah, I felt like an obligation to buy something because I felt like we wouldn't have a segment otherwise.
Such a letdown last week.
Prototype. No, yeah. So yesterday, Prototype Waisaki Slammers came out. So I bought 2 of those.
Yeah, I slept on it.
Yeah, so they came out at 11. They sold out in 3 minutes.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, and it's in the new Classic Supreme. Which I think is kind of the Royal line from Latitude.
Yes. Yeah.
So they're trying to work on the flashing, not having that and everything. So
which I gotta say, they hyped up the originals, the very first discs that DD was gonna release was the 3 originals in that line. Completely poo-pooed it and gave Ricky Waisaki the slammer in that plastic first. In the Supreme.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, because they were talking about, the trespass and the
the escape and the judge.
All coming out.
And I was super excited about the judge.
Yeah.
So, but it's all right. I like the slammer too, but I'm glad I didn't buy it because I'm not going to put it in the bag. It would have been a hanger. And we'll see him. It's looking in the new release calendar for the wholesale. They haven't gave a date yet because I guess they're on a slow boat coming. So
okay. Colton Montgomery, he was going to do some field practice, but he had some C-Line FDs for sale with a...
OGs?
No, the
new ones. Okay.
Yeah, but with a custom stamp.
Oh, cool.
So he called it Cyberwolf. It's kind of like 2 wolf heads, kind of like a yin-yang kind of deal, and he only had 20 available, so I ended up buying one of those as well.
Oh, very nice. What's the number on it?
What do you mean?
Price.
Oh, it was $30. Shipped.
Oh, that's not bad.
No.
Okay.
So yeah, he only had 20, but he is holding on to some to, for at events to sell. So if you're, at Jonesboro or any upcoming event, he might still have some.
Yeah.
But he also mentioned, he sold out of those rather quickly as well. And so he was just kind of curious, were people more interested in it being the FD or the stamp? So he said that he could possibly order more of the custom stamp on different discs if you wanted to. So
yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know. The FD is a super popular disc. We're not moving them quickly in the shop. I mean, they move, but not crazy fast. I mean, the daggers are moving crazy right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, daggers are moving quite quickly. But,
okay.
Yeah, so I'm that's cool. It sounds like a cool concept. I'll have to look it up after we get off here, and then I'll look it up. But it sounds like a neat one, and I'm a huge FD freak. So
it's not. It's not a single disc, but it's just a custom stamp that Manny Trujillo did. He does all the Discmania special edition or signature series stuff. I'll be interested to see if anybody actually makes the new FD their signature series. I don't know.
Yeah, as of right now, no one's really latching onto it yet.
Yeah,
but which seems weird because it has a touch more stability than the old C-Line FDs, and the old C-Line FDs were staples in bags.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I mean, maybe it's because of the Essence and,
Maybe.
Yeah. Essence. I guess Essence is no, it's a 9-speed, right?
8. Like
8, okay.
I mean, it's kind of a weird, like, not many people throw 8 speeds. Like, I know a lot of the pros are throwing them down for rollers or something,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one of Simon Lazat's most famous disc, that Anna disc, that's an FD.
Yeah,
so.
It is, yeah.
All right, so anything else?
Nope, that's it.
And plan on throwing them, hanging them, flipping them?
I'll probably hold on to the Ricky Slammers just as, like, collectors. Maybe I'll throw one, but I'll probably throw the FD.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I got comments.
Yeah.
I got 3 more. You saw them.
Yep.
They're all Jawbreaker Glow comments. I got one of the MJ Leadstone of 2021s last year. And then I got 2 just standard Jawbreaker Glow comments. So I'm super excited about them because I only had the one Jawbreaker comment, and I was really worried that I don't even really throw it because I'm just so worried I'm going to love it so much that, and I do love it. It's probably one of my favorite ones. Mm-hmm. But I don't like not having a replacement for it.
Right.
Because you get so used to throwing it, it feels good. And the nice thing about these comments, the Jawbreakers, they're always a little bit flatter, which is kind of nice. They are slightly less stable, but not dumpy.
No. Yeah.
So, but I'm excited about it. And then also, I got a little gift. I don't know who it's from. I don't know why we got them. I don't know how I got them. But I got a berry, a mint, and a popcorn Clash. Had the full lineup, the slip in it and everything. And that was it. And I said, free sample. Thank you.
What?
Yeah. I was like, well. So I reached out to a couple people that I know that have some connections in. And I was like, hey, did you? Nope. Are you sure? Nope. You sure? Nope. So I'm like, what was it, Eric Oakley? So I contacted Bobby, and nope, like, we have no clue. I have no clue who they came from, why they came to us. So, but I have a berry mint and a popcorn.
Okay.
Popcorn is a beadless, slightly overstable putter.
Okay.
They're all in premium plastics. The mint is a zone. It's very zone-ish. And the berry is kind of I'd call it like a bounty. It has that feel of kind of a understable buzz, like a Buzz SS, almost. But it's a 5 neg 1 3 or 2, I think, or 3. But it does have a finish. It has a hard finish, a neg 1 3. Like so I threw it on hole 1, which is just a gentle turnover for a backhand. Put it on what I thought was an awesome line. It drifted over probably exactly where it should have been, but just right about where you expect it to start dropping and flattening out, it just started to fade.
Oh, wow.
So, but all nice discs. I played the worst round I've played out at our local course. I don't remember when I've thrown so bad. I think I was 9 over or 8 over. It was bad.
That's in, like, my territory.
Well, and Jordan and Tyler, they lit it up. I think Jordan was 4 under and Tyler was 3 under, or 5 under, 3 under, something like a 5 under, 4 under, but they were only 1 stroke apart, like 4 or 5 under. And I was just like, I felt like a joke out there. But, I can make a ton of excuses, but no one wants to hear them. So, all right. So the preview for today's show, I guess podcast, is we're going to talk about the Champions Cup and all the drama that came with that. Surprise, surprise, one of the very first PDGA ran events in quite a long time. And all of a sudden there's all this drama.
Yeah.
And I think maybe some of it's justified, some of it's not. But we'll talk about it. We're going to talk about Hinder Sharks and Brody Smith. We're going to talk about Jonesboro Open. And then we got the random question. So, and then shop updates after that. So, why don't we go ahead and get into it? So, I'll start off by saying $10,000 matching is still going on with the Paul McBeth Foundation.org. We are a little over halfway, if I remember rightly. So, we're about $6,000 almost. So we're pretty darn close. We got about 10 more days to get to that 10,000, and then I will match it on behalf of Door Disc Golf. So Paul McBeth Foundation.org. They're up to about $6,000 if I remember rightly, and another 4. So let's make that happen.
Nice.
All right, Champions Cup.
Yeah.
Congratulations to. Here's your spoiler alert. I gave it a little enough time.
Oh yeah, I didn't know you were looking.
No,
at
I was given the whole like. So Chris Dickerson and Elaine Kit. No, I'm just kidding. And Paige Pierce. So Paige Pierce won on the final hole.
Yep.
And due to the worst way to win, also the worst way to lose.
Yeah.
Kristin Tatar basically got a unfortunate. It was a bad putt. It was a putt that was missed. If it would have hit center chains, it would have stuck. Mm-hmm. She was high left side, kicked out. That's it.
Yeah, I hate downhill putts.
Yeah.
And those are the worst because it just went sailing back to circle's edge.
Yep.
And then she had the exact same checker.
Yep. Airmailed it.
But almost to the exact same spot where she had putted from previously.
Yep.
Putted, hit another putt, hits chains, and rolls away, and that was it.
Yeah. So really unfortunate. So she had, and I can't say I would do anything differently.
Right.
The way she was putting, I mean, and from what I had seen of the tournament, she was pretty nails. I mean, a couple missed here and there. You started seeing the jitters a little bit, but I mean, rightfully so. That was nail in the coffin putt. And she's been making or drawing metal on every putt since. Mm-hmm. She drew the metal. She just got that unfortunate. It went a lot further than it should have, not than it should have. It just went further than she hoped it would have.
Right.
She could have, solidified the playoff with the next putt. And then after that, it didn't matter. The last 2, who cared?
Yeah.
Right. At that point. So congratulations to Paige Pierce. Like I said, it takes the, oh my goodness, from Paige Pierce's win, but still a win.
Yeah.
And it's her 17th major.
There's been discussion about that.
Yeah, no, but, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, and even Paige said, she recognized, it didn't feel big because she didn't have to hit a big putt, to win. Right. Kristin had, lost 3 strokes on that final hole. She ended up losing by 2 strokes to Paige. Paige did have some rather awesome putts down the stretch. The last 5 or 6 holes, she really had some, she was coming on. She was charging in Paige Pierce fashion. And Kristin, I think Paige birdied, I forgot what it was. I heard a stat. Kristin birdied 3 of the last 5, and Paige maybe 5 of the last. I don't know what the stat was, but she was gaining strokes on Kristin fast.
Right.
And
and with that momentum going into the final hole, a lot of people are arguing, why wouldn't you just lay up, force the playoff?
Right.
Because momentum was not on Kristin's side.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, Paige was she was coming on.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't remember either. The graphic came up. I forgot what the loop was for the holes that they were doing. Was it 14 through 18? Was that
I didn't catch it.
Yeah, I didn't either. So I don't remember particularly how Paige was whatever the loop was. I think it was the last couple holes. Paige was on fire for those holes, and probably would have kept the momentum if they did actually go to a playoff.
Right. Well, and Paige has been there. Paige has seen it. Paige has won. Paige has so many more advantages there, and good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her. We had a text chain going, and I stand on the side. I was a little disappointed with her response. It felt.
Are you talking about the interview at the end?
The interview at the end with Terry. I was a little disappointed with her response because, Terry's like, "Oh, so how about your competitor?" Well, my dad. And really unfortunate circumstance. I'm not taking anything away from the importance of what she said, but she also didn't give kudos to Kristin. She just completely and it. I think I said it in the text. It's hard to recognize recognize narcissistic behaviors in yourself. And we all have them. Mm-hmm. It all happens. And unfortunately, that came out at that time. So much emotion, so much drama, and in a time where there was so many eyes on Paige, and that's unfortunate. But it doesn't diminish the message she had. It just diminishes Kristin Tatar, and that's what I feel is like. Man, that sucks for her.
Someone else, like in the chat too, kind of maybe alluded to the fact that maybe it was a little bit about Kristin. I don't know, like the whole like winning doesn't define who you are, it's how you play and like what you consider a success.
Yeah.
But in that moment, like knowing that she's hurting and like the way, you know, like how emotional she is. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess tough. I didn't get that at all.
I
like
didn't really
when that was
like,
said,
really
I actually
thought,
went back and was like, well, maybe I'm really analyzing this way too much and I'm being a D, you know, I'm being a dick. Like I went back and I didn't hear that. Like,
no, I really thought it was about her dad.
It was exactly. It was 100% about her dad.
Yeah,
like, and that's unfortunate. And it's and we can talk about that too. Like, that sucks for Paige that she's put in that situation.
Right.
Because instead of the go get him, girl, no matter what, I love you, you need to win this, you know, and like, and that was the personality through the whole thing. And, you know, I caught some of that in that little thing that Discraft did with Jomez.
Yeah.
And Paige did with Jomez. Like, you can catch that drive to win, excellence, and
right.
Not a bad thing, but obviously not a good thing for Paige.
Right. I think too, having young kids play sports and like the amount of, or even just seeing parents at sporting events and watching them like push their kids and like the stuff they say to like officials, or you know, like the amount of pressure that we put on kids to succeed in sports or whatever it is, you know. But it's tough. Like,
well, there's a fine line.
Yeah, there really is. And winning, yes, the feeling of losing sucks more than the feeling of winning.
Right.
Like that gut of like, man, failure has set in, sucks way more than the joy of winning.
Right.
And, you know, most people will go through that more than winning anything. So, I mean, just enjoy what you have and the time you have doing it. Like,
right.
That's really what it comes down to.
Yep. You know, and I had a father that super supportive, like never missed games, all that stuff, but also lived vicariously through my performances. So a bit of that came out in him. And in some ways I resented him for it, but in other ways, like I would have never accomplished what I accomplished without that push. But that's my personality. You know, I need that drill instructor behind me. I need that guy telling me how worthless I am. Like, that's the type of stuff that motivates me. When someone says, like, man, you guys suck, or you suck, or like Jordan and Tyler beating the crud out of me and then stomping on me while I was down yesterday. Like, it's not their fault. Something I suck. I held the number 1 tag for so long, and I lost it. And I'm like, I got to get it back. Like, that's my goal, you know, and that's what I drive for. But maybe some people aren't like that. But I you know, it's funny because I see Paige as being that success is part of her killer attitude too. You know, and where did that come from? But emotionally, geez, who knows, man? Like, it's so hard to deal with a lot of that stuff internally.
Yeah.
Like, it may give you good things, but it also might really weigh on you in the back end, you know? But talking about kids, like, man, that's a hard thing to... That's a fine line, because you want to push kids because you got to help them get past these mental blocks and limits in their mind where they think they can't do something or they think they're not good enough. So the encouragement is really important. But when does encouragement become this overzealous, like crazy, you know, whatever it is?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. There's, you know, Dempsey the other day was talking about, like, oh, he's like, I really want to go play, you know, like football, you know, some sport in college, or like he has aspirations to go play baseball or football or whatever it is. I was like, do you think those, do you think your favorite players sat around on the couch playing Fortnite?
Exactly. Put the iPad down.
Right.
And you might be able to do it.
Exactly. So like, I'm like, you need to get past the like screen time and go focus on doing what.
Yeah.
And like that, I'm trying to motivate them that way. Like it's probably not the best way to motivate them, but it's like, if you want to do this, you have to put the time in, and and these people made sacrifices along the way, and like the amount of time it takes you to get to that level.
And it's a big deal. Like, you look at the number of high school players, then college players, then pro players. It is astounding at the drop-off rate. I mean, it's like 97% of all athletes that shoot for a professional won't get it. It's crazy. And it's a lot. I mean, it's hundreds of thousands of kids every year think they're going to do it, never have a chance. Like, it's amazing. And it's kind of, we can do the old guy thing and like, well, back in my day, we didn't have these distractions. So our thing was, but those things can be used constructively as well, because when I was coaching, I was able to take, videos and then slow them down, compare them to top athletes in the craft that they were doing, and they could see exactly where, because I could tell them, hey, you're dropping your hand at the end of your throw, you're pulling your head away from the shot when there's all these little things that they're doing, but like, what do you mean I'm pulling my head away? Okay, so now look at this guy, look at you, look what's happening. See your head? Now watch his head, and it's so easy to do those things. So you can use those things as, tools, but when it's a escape, it's hard, so, but anyways, that went on along with Paige, but, I feel for Paige, but in the same regard, I feel for Kristin. I wish Paige, in that emotional, hysterical state of chaos that she was in at that moment, and I wouldn't call it hysterical, maybe that's an improper word, but that moment of chaos that she was in, good and bad, I don't think she nailed the question. She kind of went on her own diatribe, and that was what it was. So, but congratulations to her. Most dominant female player, I think, unquestionably at this point. I mean, like, you could probably make the the argument for Val, but I mean, 17 majors, she's tied with the highest. And one of those majors, we'll put an asterisk next to it, because one of the majors is Am Worlds.
Right.
So, but it is major.
It is. I just think that because they threw up the graphic that Paige had 15 and then Val had 16, but professionally.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's hard to, because this case has been brought up with Tiger Woods too. Tiger Woods is behind Jack Nicklaus in majors. He has 15, but he also has 3 amateur masters titles to his name.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Right. So so Jack Nicklaus has, I think, 2. So he would actually still be ahead of Tiger Woods.
Oh, okay.
So,
So it's kind of a moot point or mute point in that regard.
Yeah. I mean, when you think, so I'm just going to bring this back to like the Hall of Fame that we were kind of talking about the other day. It's, basketball, the Hall of Fame isn't just professional sports. It's, what's up?
We might have some errors again. That's okay. Let's keep her going.
Yeah. Basketball is not just professional sports. It's also international college and everything.
Right.
Baseball is professional, so it's only professional stats. I mean, disc golf is probably, I don't think it's just professional, but it could be. So, I mean, if you want to include 17 majors.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think disc golf as a PDGA, they don't distinguish whether they're am or pro. They're just majors.
Right.
Like college disc golf is majors.
Yeah.
Is a major, technically. So, yeah, for me, I mean, still awesome. She's still tied at 16 or 17, whatever the number is. Because I think that's the same thing with Val, right? So,
I think so.
But that's awesome. So let's not leave out Dickerson and the charge he made at the end to come back and win. I mean, when Ricky's in a position with strokes to spare.
Yeah, he's up by 2 to start the round.
Exactly. And, I mean, to chase Ricky from behind is hard.
Yeah, it is.
It's really hard.
It's really hard.
Because Dickerson came in third in the last 8, didn't he? Because wasn't Heimborg in front of him?
I thought it was Ricky. Dickerson Heimberg.
Okay, maybe it was. Maybe it was.
Yeah, I don't remember. I thought Calvin finished.
He just stayed flat.
Yeah, I thought so. Maybe not.
Okay. Well, and if he did or didn't, still to chase Ricky down final round when he's been playing amazing, like that was great.
Yeah.
And it just kind of goes to cement how good Chris Dickerson is. That's his second major win.
Mm-hmm.
And the putter.
Yeah,
he was
he really
so
was.
good. So good with the putter. So, good for him. So let's talk about the drama, unless you want to go more about Dickerson.
Oh yeah, I mean, like he was just solid. Ricky kind of faltered a little bit at the end. He had some unfortunate, like one hole I was watching, like I think it was 18. Like it was a real tight fairway, and he just had a drive like kick off a tree and just like thump, and then Kirk Dickerson made it up to the hill where like you crest like go, and it's just like yeah, can't do anything from there. And same thing with Calvin. Calvin was kind of like staying in the mix a little bit, and then yeah, he just kind of stayed where he was.
Just couldn't capitalize.
Right.
It was a boring round for him.
Yeah, I mean he did nail I think one or two like pretty big putts like from circle 2, and then I know what else I was gonna say is on the last full episode I predicted that like 6 to 9 down a round would be like
Yes.
insanely good. And first round, there's 8 guys in double digits.
Exactly.
JC White and Corey Ellis were minus 11, and I think there was 6 other guys at 10 down.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is like way better than I thought.
Exactly. Well, and shout out to Casey White. Awesome job. Like,
Yeah.
that was a huge round to be like overshadowed in the 4th round.
Right. And even Gannon Berg, the
13
same
under.
13 under, which would have been the course record the day before.
Exactly. Isn't that, who did he do? Wasn't it Dickerson that he did that to as well? Paul McBeth, where he shot like course record and Dickerson had just broken it like hours before.
Yeah,
and then,
something like that.
So, well, that sucks for him, but I want to talk about the Kristin Tatar and the caddy issue. So I don't want to beat this dead horse because this comes out on Friday, and I've already heard a ton about it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure by the time people are listening to this, they're going to hear a bunch about it. But I just want to point out that Robert Leonard did a fantastic job in handling the situation. Because not only did he address the situation, make it correct, but he also found a very reasonable way that this young lady from Estonia who's there to help her mom or watch her mom and knows probably maybe a handful of people in the United States.
Right.
Don't know if she knows English or not. All these things, like he made that quiet sign.
Right.
I mean, absolute best possible scenario it could have been. And other than her mom dropping out and being off and doing whatever, but I think that was a stand-up move by him. I think he handled it awesome and good for him. Good for him. On the other hand, let's talk about Elaine King.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed.
I am too.
Like, I feel like that's a get off my lawn. I think you said it. No, I don't want to steal your thunder.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. Like, I understand that you are the vice president of the PDGA. I get it. So it's an awkward thing because you're wearing multiple hats at that point. But to track down and make this situation a lot harder than it should have been. I mean, it's 4 holes in by the time she found out. And to like go through all these different people, and we heard on Smashbox that it was like she was like going way out of her way to make sure that Kristin Tatar, because she could be disqualified. And the funny part is that maybe, but that's up to TD's discretion, nobody else.
Right.
And Robert Leonard said there was no chance that would happen. And for her to push that out there as a possible, like, that's the very last resort. And I looked it up right before we got on here, and there's no designated penalties for these infractions. That whole portion. I mean, it talks about caddies and carts and disc and golf carts and other people that can be around, and there's no defined penalty. for what happens.
Right. The only thing that is that, your caddy is an extension of you as a player. So even down to the dress code, like you have to dress appropriately for the tier of the event, that you're in, which Gavin Babcock's caddy was not dressed.
No.
But anyway, like if you're going to enforce rules, enforce them across the board. Like,
Right.
we've talked about that. But yeah, I understand it was probably a good, it came from a good place. She wanted to make sure that she wouldn't get disqualified because she was leading for most of the round,
Right.
But you're doing commentary on TV and to take time off to just be like, I really have to do this. Like
Essentially harass.
kind yeah, I don't know.
Because this is a self-regulated sport. And not a single person on their card said anything.
Right. And wasn't brought up, the TD could have easily said before the round or, on the tee box of one, like, oh, your daughter's too young. Or, because basically what happened.
Yeah, the starter should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, when I went to DDO last year, basically what happened, when we went to go get spectator badges, we went to the DD store, and what happened was they had spectator badges, they had media badges, which you had to pay, an astronomical, and then they had caddy badges. So I don't know if your caddy, if you're playing, is in charge of getting a caddy badge, or if the actual player is in charge of getting the caddy badge, and then they can kind of do whatever they want with it.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't sound like
in
caddies.
Vegas, we had to register the caddies, and then we got the caddy badge.
That's what I was wondering. Is like, if you have to register your caddy, how do they not know that this little girl is too young?
And I don't know if that's true for every event.
No,
But I think in Vegas they were really limiting the amount of people out on the course because they had spectator passes. So they were really trying to limit that. So yeah, you could have a caddy, and you had to register them beforehand and all that stuff. So maybe they fell short. Maybe Robert Leonard fell short on that and making sure that was the case. But yeah, it's I don't know. It just seems like a crummy situation. But Kristin Tart was in the wrong. Like
Yeah,
was in the
she
wrong.
even said she didn't know the rule.
Yeah, and I get that. And so I don't blame Elaine King. I just feel that it's such an overreach of responsibility. In my humble opinion, she will, I can guarantee you, she would adamantly disagree with us, but I just feel like it's an overreach of that responsibility as the PDGA vice president.
Right. Well, the other situation is you reached out to another competitor's caddy to talk to you. Like, yes, you did like reach out to multiple people, but the one person you knew on the card was another competitor's caddy, and that caddy went and talked to Kristin Tatar. Like, that looks bad.
If it was that important, the vice president of the PDGA should have known to pick up the phone and call Robert Leonard. His number's out there. You get the director's number when you show up for these events.
Yeah.
They're in the caddy books. They make sure it's given to you. Like, go to the PDGA website, type up that event, tap that, call the PDGA, the tournament director.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Like, there were a lot of things that could have been a lot differently, but this is the very first event that the PDGA has run solely without the Pro Tour.
True.
And I don't know if all of this is being completely blown out of proportion simply because it's a PDGA ran event.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have a little because it wasn't the PDGA's fault.
No. And I did hear too that because it was kind of in the PDGA's backyard, that they were being a little more strict on some rules being enforced while it was there as a major and all that.
Here's my argument with that. Like, I thought about that too because I was like, oh, they're right on grounds, all this stuff. Like, focus on the stuff that makes a difference and impacts the play. For instance, time.
Yeah.
For instance, we can go on little infractions that happen constantly that make a difference to the play. Not a caddy. You know, like this young lady, there was, from what I understand, she caddied for a round before or something like that. Never interrupted, never, I mean, did what she was supposed to do as a caddy. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But it's a rule. Like, we just got to keep going back to that. It's a rule. It is what it is. It's a new rule. And it's the rule that, it's like the Paul McBeth rule that we'll talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
But speaking of Paul McBeth, let's talk about his 16 down being 1091
That's crazy.
on WR Jackson.
That is mind blowing.
It is. The 16 down, and this is why people have problems with ratings. The 16 down, that was a phenomenal round. It's up on YouTube.
Yep.
Who was it that did it?
Someone sent me a link and I bowl around.
He has a YouTube channel.
Yep. They do like forms
Yes.
stuff. I forgot what they're called.
Overthrow?
Overthrow. Yeah.
Overthrow. Okay.
Yep.
So Overthrow did it. So shout out to Overthrow for catching that.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, I think it was the foundation guys that said he wasn't even supposed to be there. He was just going to film a couple. And he's like, I just feel like I want to watch this.
Yeah.
So he just stayed there and filmed the whole thing. And that's fantastic. And the round is spectacular. I mean, it is like the lines he's hitting, where he's putting the disc. Like, he was rarely out of position. And where he was out of position, that's where he got his pars.
Yeah.
And he still made phenomenal upshots from where his positions were.
Four pars for the round. Everything else was birdies or eagles.
Yeah, 2 eagles, 4 pars, and 16 under.
Yeah.
And to say that is rated less than
Fountain.
Fountain's the big one because that's the highest rated round ever.
Right.
But also Waco and also Toboggan.
Oh yeah, right.
And Maple Hill.
I was gonna say Maple Hill.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big round.
It's rated behind all those, but Maple Hill I think deserves to be at the top round.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think it's not by far. This is pretty darn close to it, but I think these 2 rounds, like, man, those are close.
They are.
As in impressive and how hard they were and being the greatest round ever.
Right. I think Maple Hill, then probably Toboggan, right? This and then Waco. I don't know.
I mean, Toboggan. So I played Toboggan as well in M Nationals. Like, it is a hard course, and I played the layout that Paul got the 18 under on. It is a hard course. The way Toboggan sits currently, I would say yes. The way it was, I mean, it's super impressive because I think the best I did was like 3 over.
Okay.
On it. And not saying that that's impressive because I absolutely stunk that week, but this 16 under I think compares to that. I think they're on the same level playing field, if not a little better, but I've never played WR Jackson, so I couldn't say. But just hearing from what the reputation of that course is, I hear it's just an amazing round. But Fountain is the one that I have the issue with. And Fountain I've played multiple times in tournament settings, and I mean, it's not a hard course. There's just a lot of OB.
Right.
There's
That's
no
what I keep
technical lines. It's just a lot of OB. So if you have touch and you have control of your distance, it's a fairly easy course.
Sure.
Especially when you get to the back nine, because there's really no water to come into play on the back nine. I mean, there's 1 hole where water comes into play, and it's 18 where you got to throw over 18.
Oh yeah.
Outside of that, there's no water that comes into play. So I don't know, we'll beat that one to death too. I guess everybody will.
Did you hear the funny stat that Nico and Dave Feldberg were on this card? The last time, he shot.
Oh, was it really?
One of his perfect rounds. Dave and Nico were
Yeah.
3 out of the 4 times he's had fantastic rounds. Dave Feldberg and Nico Castro have been on his card, which is just dumb luck or what.
But that goes to show you it depends on who you're with, if you're having fun or not. And from what I understand, those guys play awesome together. They love each other. They're great guys to play, and to be that's a legendary card. To have those 3 people, that's awesome because those are old school. All 3 old school players.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I just want to throw in too though. This major did not feel like a major.
On the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like from a spectator's view,
Yes.
as far as like YouTube and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you hear repeatedly that from pros it felt exactly like a major, how it should. But yeah.
I think if you could, like, the course only, you know, you can only get so many people. I think it was like 400 people a day were allowed on the grounds. It would have been nice to see bigger crowds and just have that feel, you know. But yeah, it just kind of felt like any other tournament.
Yeah, yeah.
Like coverage wise.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, I would agree. It was on the network, and it did YouTube, and there was a ton of coverage.
There's a ton of coverage, yeah.
And there's even more still coming out. Like, it's incredible. It's, but, yeah, I mean, I was excited. I would agree. I guess I didn't have the allure, but I think it's just because it doesn't have the history yet. Mm-hmm. Like, and the hype wasn't there beforehand. I think we talked about it last episode.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right. So the last one I want to talk about, and we've talked about Natalie Ryan before.
Yeah.
So she came in 7th. Is that correct? Oh, and hold on. Shout out to, not a shout out, but awesome. Eagles back. Finished 17th.
14th.
Tied for 14th.
Yeah.
That's great because he had a horrible first round.
Yeah, he made it. He had a good final round. Finish where he finished,
and that's awesome. I'm super glad. So it seems like he's. I was watching one of Simon Lazat's blogs, and it sounded like he was fairly timid, but yeah, I'm because he just didn't want to hurt himself anymore. So that's awesome. Super happy to see that. So let's talk about the bit of a controversy that came from a fan base about Natalie Ryan finishing. So openly transgender, we've talked about it before. That's not the subject. Subject is a reaction to her coming in 7th. Is that correct?
I think so. I just want to pull that.
Anyway, so finishing in the cut. Mm-hmm. And there were 2 ladies that finished outside of cash, and there was a fundraiser started to raise money for them because the fundraiser said that they got robbed because of that finish.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
That's pretty low. Like, you know, she's not breaking PDGA rules.
Right.
You know, and you're just showing your bias or homophobia, whichever, you know, you want to say. I
don't even know if it's I mean, it may or may not be homophobia.
I guess that's
trying to make a political stand, maybe, or a moral stand, or whatever it is, whatever position those people are coming from.
Yeah.
For me, I'm more interested in it, like, because what is going to happen when she wins something?
Yeah.
Like, if this is already starting at such a small level, because we've heard about her, 3 times now?
Yeah, something like that.
Like, what's going to happen? And I'm more interested in what the PDGA is going to do. Because they're going to have, I mean, they're going to fumble around, because I'm sure they're not making their decisions now because they don't want to be controversial. It's going to happen. There's going to be a big freak out by however many. Now, this is all assumption. Maybe it's going to be cool and awesome, but I doubt it. And they're going to fumble around, and they're going to make some sort of knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
I'm just curious how that's going to all play out.
Right, because the PDGA is following the IOC rules, which you know, I don't really know what those rules are.
Which is such, you know, in my humble opinion, it's such an, like...
And those rules haven't been updated in, like, 8 years.
Well, and what a cop-out. Because, okay, we're just going to follow that. No, you're not, because you have to test hormone levels. I mean, there's so many different parameters that the PDGA does not have the technology, licensing, money to do.
Yeah.
And nor are they doing it. But once again, rules in PDGA, let's just throw them out there, and we'll enforce when we want to enforce. And we won't when we don't want to. Like, horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. So I hope that the Pro Tour will step up and actually make a decision that's concrete, makes sense in any way, shape, or form. But especially pertaining to this, I hope that something is done before this panic happens.
Right.
And rightfully so, wrongfully so. Like, I think it's absolutely ridiculous that it's even a talking point, but it will be even more of a talking point pretty soon.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is at this point. So
yeah, I could see. Well, we were kind of talking about, maybe she wins a silver series, or maybe she wins a like a B tier or something. Like I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly think it's going to create. The problem that I have with it is it's going to create more hatred. Because, and you like it or not, make the decision now you may have, so that there's no further divide in the sport about the issue. Figure it out now, stand behind it. And then it's done. And then you're not getting, Natalie Ryan has made I don't know what the proper term is, made the choice to go that direction, or feels that, don't hang me because of this, because I don't know these adjectives or how it should be said, but basically Natalie Ryan is openly transgender, so she's making a transition, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's safe to say. So she's made this choice. That's all fine and good. That's fine. That's not the subject that we're talking about. We're talking about how the PDGA is so complacent in their position of piggybacking on something they can't even enforce. That's my problem with it. Make a decision, stand for it, and take the emotional toll off of Natalie Ryan and others that may stand on the other side of it as they're trying to go back and forth and making these decisions, because they can't make the decision. It's the PDGA that makes the decision. So that's my thought on it.
Right on.
So I'm done with it. All right. So Hinder Sharks. Want to talk about that?
Okay.
So I just wanted to bring up, I thought it was really funny. We had in this text chain. I'm really curious to know how many people know what Hinder Sharks are. So I knew what Hinder Sharks were before I even married into this family. So Brody Smith was talking about nip it in the butt.
Yeah.
B-U-T-T.
Right.
And it was on Foundation Podcast. And Hunter's like, pretty sure it's bud, like a flower bud.
Right. Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's the butt. Like a dog nipping at your butt. And I was like, oh, man. And then somehow magically in this text chain, and that's not the real focus. I just used Brody Smith's name to bring credence to this. Somehow in the text message, all of a sudden it went to Hinder Sharks.
Yeah. I put my phone down for like a split second or two, like came back. I was like, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah. So, so Hinder Sharks, you know what they are now. Did you know previously to that?
No clue.
Okay.
Like, I still don't really know that well.
This is one of those like slightly creepy, slightly cute things that people do. And I'm not going to call out anybody or mention names or anything, but a Hinder Shark is when you pinch someone's butt and you just say Hinder Shark, so it's cute.
Yeah.
So if you walk up to someone and you really want to pinch their butt, just go Hinder Shark and then pinch her butt. There you go.
Okay. I have a story.
Okay then.
So I know this individual. I'm not going to say who it is, but back in the day, they called him Barracuda. Okay. He used to go up and bite people on the ass.
Oh man!
And that's how he got the nickname Barracuda.
Very nice. Do I know this person?
You might.
I might. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to talk about that later because I want to know who it is now.
Yeah.
So, how do Hinder Sharks relate to disc golf?
I don't know.
Is there a point in disc golf where Hinder Sharks are ever a thing? What if you get 2 Hinder Sharks per round inside the circle?
Oh
so
my
full
God.
contact circle 2.
Yeah.
And then Hinder Sharks in like, can you imagine if you were getting ready to putt and someone came up to you and went, Hinder Shark, and pinched you as you were like, tell me that wouldn't be a leveler. Because you think about it, like if okay, I can't say it for girls. Okay, let's say the very last putt for Dickerson. Like Ricky Wysocki just came in and was like, hinder shark, as he's putting.
Yeah.
Tell me that wouldn't make a difference.
I think even just saying it would just throw you off. Like, you wouldn't have to touch it, but you'd just be like, hinder shark. Like the double take,
like,
just
what did you just say?
Yeah, like that would just be enough to catch somebody off guard.
Yeah. So, all right. So I just figured I would talk about that. So Jonesboro, love this tournament every year. Super excited about it. And it was Eagle and PP last year that won it.
Did Eagle win it?
I'm pretty sure Eagle won it.
Okay.
But if not, no big deal.
I'm pretty sure Paige won it.
Yeah, but
or no.
I don't remember.
Katrina.
No, Kat won it by like a landslide.
Yes, Kat won it by quite a few strokes.
Okay. So who's in the field at the PDJ? And who are your choices going to be for top picks? Or for Jonesboro? And who are your picks going to be? So, did you get it up yet? Sorry,
I'm looking at it right now.
I had it up, and then all of a sudden it went away. So, I am going to... I'll start with my picks. I am going to go with... Because I think Tatar is going to be on a heater coming off of this tournament. So I'm going to go Tatar, Pierce, and Allen as my 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to try to give it to Tatar. I'm going to go one more tournament as Tatar, and if she lets me down one more time, I'm done with her. She may as well be dead to me.
Good out.
And then we have men's side. I am going to go with Ricky because I think he's going to be on a heater. I first time I'm ever going to do this, I'm putting Paul under Ricky, and then I'm going to put Dickerson behind them. Yeah, I'm going to put Dickerson behind them. So that's my 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
So Ricky, Paul, Dickerson, and then Tater, Pierce, and Allen.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I want to put Allen ahead of Pierce. So I'm going to put Pierce in third and then Allen in second.
Okay.
I don't know why. Just wanted to.
All right. Number 1. Okay, I'm going to go FPO. I'm going to take Paige first. She always plays well.
It's a bad choice.
Jonesboro.
Horrible choice. Why would you pick her for first? You think she's deserved any of that?
Maybe. All right. 2, I'm going to take Katrina Allen.
Mm-hmm.
And third, this is a course that you can throw fairly far on. Kristin can throw far. I'm going to put Haley King.
Oh, King. Not Kona. Kona's been stepping up her game.
No.
Okay. Okay. And
she's been playing well, yeah.
Why would you not take, as in the immortal words of Ian, Tatar?
I don't know if she's emotionally recovered from...
You don't think so?
I don't know.
I think she is. All right. Men?
All right. Men. I am going to take...
While you're thinking, I really hope this sticks. I really hope that we don't get the skips and drops like we did last time.
I know. I know. Okay. Paul. I'm going to take first.
Okay.
Number 2, Richard Wysocki.
Ooh.
And number 3, I'm going to go out on a limb, Kevin Jones.
Which one's the one that's in his backyard?
This is kind of in his backyard.
Is it? Okay.
I mean, he's from Missouri.
Okay. So this might be his home course.
I think he moved. I think he's from Arkansas, but moved to Missouri. His dad's a football coach at the University of Missouri.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I think he is from Greenwood, Arkansas. So yeah, right in his backyard.
Okay.
I mean, Jonesboro. I don't think it's that far of a reach.
No, I mean, and to hold that as Jones and to hold the Jonesboro
it's
Open.
It's a Prodigy sponsored event, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Or was. I know it's like Played Again sports or whatever, but at one point was Prodigy sponsored.
Mm-hmm. All right. So here we go. Random question.
Oh, yeah.
So if disc golf gets to a point where there will be a televised Pro-Am, so there has been a Pro-Am already, but there will be a televised Pro-Am. Sorry. We just got, as I'm reading this, I just got a follow from Richie Fowler. And I thought it said Ricky Fowler. I was like, what? And then, okay. So, televised Pro-Am, like the PDGA or like the PGA has, what celebrity AMs do you think you would or hopefully see? And besides the obvious, like Askren and Bert Kreischer and Kreischer, however you say his name.
Yeah.
The Machine.
Right. Yeah.
So I'll go with his first, because I have a sneaky suspicion that Aaron Rodgers might be really good. Another is Seth Green, which I think is a fantastic choice.
Seth Green?
I don't care if he plays well. I just think it would be awesome to have him out on a disc golf course. He's a perfect disc golf personality.
Yeah.
He said he read that Steph Curry might actually play disc golf, which would be awesome. And then we know about the mountain from Game of Thrones. But his choice seems like overwhelmingly would be Jake and Logan Paul. It makes me think a little less of Jordan for saying they would bring a ton of publicity to it.
They were okay. So I don't know if Jordan listens to like Impulsive, the podcast, like Logan Paul or whoever's podcast it is.
I would assume not, but
so
who knows?
Jorge Masvidal, MMA fighter, was just on there because like I was on TikTok scrolling through and like one of their videos popped up. They asked him about Ben Askren because you know the famous knockout.
Yeah.
He's like, "Do you think Ben Askren should stick to disc golf or something like that?" He's like, "I don't care what he sticks to." Blah, blah, blah. Like I don't. It was just a funny.
Oh, just like this call out too.
Kind of, yeah. But
Ben Askren didn't take that seriously, but I mean, he's a strike. Like, you got to give it to him. They train with some of the best. I mean, Sugar Shane Mosley, like, that's one of his trainers or is his trainer.
Okay.
Like, heck yeah, he's gonna throw some punches. Like,
oh no, I'm talking about the Masvidal fight where he came out and like kneed him right in the like,
sure, yeah,
the UFC fight, but yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, Aaron Rodgers was going to be one of my picks because I've heard he plays. Who else?
One who knows how much longer he's committed to GB, so maybe.
Right.
Yeah, we had a guy out at the springtime that was an ex-Packer player.
What?
I got his card.
Oh,
yeah, he owns like a landscaping business now. He was one of the, he was a left guard back in, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so like Steph Curry, I think that's awesome. So the people I'd like to see, and I don't know if they play or don't play, but I think there's some folks I would love to see. I think, I don't know, man. There's just a lot. Like there's so many names going through my head right now. What's her name? So she's a comic. She's super dry. And she kind of looks like a dude. Like she's built like very slim. I mean, and what's her name? Tig.
Okay.
So I think she's one of the funniest people alive, but she's a comedian. So I would like her just because she's such a comedian. And then kind of the outlier for me would be probably yeah, it's hard because it's on that Logan Paul realm, but probably have you ever heard of Joe Santagato?
I don't know.
Basement Yard. He did The People of Walmart. He's kind of famous for that type of stuff.
You've talked about The People of Walmart.
Yeah, The People of Walmart. So he's hilarious as well. And I think it's just for comedic value. I'd love to be love to see them play because
Yeah.
I'd love to see the stuff they would say. And it's such an unorthodox game, and I know they could just carry it, like, just because of how different of a game it is. You know?
Right.
So yeah, I think those two. What about you?
For me, I would say someone like David Beckham.
Okay.
I used to play a big soccer, so like he's like an icon worldwide.
Yeah.
Which I think he could draw eyes to the sport if he was
ton of
there.
eyes.
So that would be pretty big. I mean, LeBron. I think it would be funny to see him try.
Oh man,
I'm not the biggest LeBron fan, but I think
I
it'd
was
be
going to
funny
say Jordan hates him.
Yeah, I think
but
it'd just be funny to see him out there attempting to do it.
I think so too. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who else.
And at this point, is Brody a pro or is he the celebrity?
I mean, I think you have to put him in pro category.
Anything in the pro? Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's good. At least he's getting the recognition now.
I mean, I think he would identify as a pro.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't really have, I mean, I have a couple more. Like, I have the low hanging fruit. Like, I'd love to see Jordan. I'd love to see, you know,
Right.
you can go on and on with those type of folks. But
Right.
I think those more off key ones. Yeah, I can't think of really any others that I should have put more thought into it. But yeah. It's a guy named Shane Solomon. I would love to see him out there.
Yeah.
So, all right.
I think Robert Downey Jr. would be kind of
Oh
funny.
man, it would be awesome.
I mean,
yes,
he's out on like he does programs for golf, but like to play disc golf would be interesting.
I would love
Funny.
to see someone like Barkley come out. And do you think his swing would translate to?
Could you imagine like Barkley trying to X step and like the hitch he would have?
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's great. I was watching something about Barkley the other day, and it talked about how that guy, there was these kids around him, and he had to like pull up YouTube videos to prove that he was actually a really good, like a dominant basketball player, because they were like, "That's that guy with the really goofy golf swing."
Round mound of rebound, man.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, watching that, was that my thing, or was that just something that I stole from you? I don't know.
I don't know, but that brings me back to like, have you seen the commercial where he's in and like he's at the playground with all the kids and he's like lined up and like, I'm gonna take Barkley. He's like, yes, I still got it. Like, it's like
That's right.
yeah, that's a pretty cool.
Yeah.
commercial.
All right, shop updates. So we got 7 boxes in on Monday.
Okay, so
No, Tuesday. It was Tuesday.
I was
not Monday.
super sad because I saw a Castoplast box. And I was like, what's in the box? Nothing. All right.
No, you asked what Castoplast discs did we get, and I said none.
Yeah.
That's how it went. So
there was something in the box. It just wasn't Castoplast.
it was. So what was in the box was Lone Star penny putts,
Okay.
a Finish Line Errors, the Exoduses, and the Pharaohs.
So that all came from Infinite?
That was all from Infinite. It just happened to be in a Castoplast box, and I was super excited when I saw it too. And I was like, it's just Infinite. I mean, not just Infinite, but you know, like, I want Castoplast. So, and I was thinking, it was like if we just randomly got a Castoplast box, it would have been like free. So, all right. In the 7 box, we also got Wysocki Daggers, Raiders, and the Evaders. And those things, they're so good looking.
Are these the burst ones?
The daggers are.
Daggers are, yeah.
Yeah, they're really nice. And then we got the marbles in, which is the Birdie Disc Golf ones. They're in and on the site.
Yep.
And in the shop. By the way, these are also available in the shop. Wedgestone. Ledgestone Wave 3 is in-house, so we have it. They are for sale on the 22nd, 6 p.m. online. We can start selling them.
Friday.
Yeah, so
Okay,
this
cool.
Friday, so just a couple days away. And then we got some paratroopers, some E4s, so backpacks. And let's see, we got, I guess outside of that, we just trying to get a grip on the new announcements that we have coming for some of the new products we're going to be bringing in. So as soon as we get the full grasp on it, we'll announce it. And then I think outside of that, where can they find you, sir? By the way, how's your OnlyFans doing?
we're down this week.
Are you?
Yeah, not enough subscribers.
You need to get some more poopy going. I had tacos today, so they weren't from Taco Bell. They were real tacos. Oh, it
Can't
won't
eat
work the
Taco
same.
Bell. I haven't had Taco Bell in years.
Well, you can. That's what I'm saying. You need a boost to these
No.
subscribers. All
I
right.
don't want to. I was gonna say die, but I don't want to like. Taco Bell and I don't sell well.
Okay.
All right. Anyway,
I support you.
onenight.owl on Instagram.
All right. And we are door_disc_golf on Instagram. And if you find the Door Disc Golf Instagram page, report that thing. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. It's still up there. Still, like, I still can't figure out why they won't pull it off, but it has all of our information and everything, and it is. And I've been trying to use that just as standard since the very beginning, and I'm on a crusade to claim it back now. So I've been reporting it as much as I possibly can.
Got it.
But it's registered to some email address in India. So
Jeez.
not us. So don't like that one. But door_disc_golf, and all of our social media links are there under our link tree. And I think outside of that, keep us subpar. Peace.